Hello, welcome to Geeta Kollipara podcast. Today we have a very special guest, Buddhist monk Amitha Khema. Monk Amitha Khema is a dedicated Buddhist monk, certified mindfulness teacher, and a community leader with over 15 years of ordained experience. He serves as the resident monk at the Buddha Meditation Center of Greater Washington, D.C and as a Buddhist chaplain at George Washington University. Through his popular Meditate with Monk program, Monk Amita has guided hundreds of individuals in mindfulness and loving kindness practice. Hello, Monk. I'm very blessed to have you here.
Yeah, hello Geeta, and happy to be in your podcast.
Thank you. Just to start with, Monk, can you please tell us what drew you towards Buddhist teachings and meditation?
When I was studying in my school, actually, in secondary schools, it was a Catholic school, and then in there, uh, I'm originally from Buddhist family, so because of that, in the prayer days and religious days, we had to organize things by ourselves, and fathers are helping, like they are giving permission, so we need to organize things, and so like that, and being in a school like that, it allows us to represent Buddhism as Buddhist, and then that was the exposure. But when it come to when I was learning in biology stream, my tuition teacher, in regular intervals, he used to say about the philosophy and things and religion, and he introduced our Buddhist teacher, my teacher, my most venerable Kiribati Nyanananda Thero. And so then what he did, he translated Buddha scripts from Buddha's language to our native language, and then it got because of that, I got chance to read and understand what Buddha said, and he's very fluent in Buddha's language, also Hindi in our native language also. So because of that, I got in kind of interest in learning that, and then I shift my path and became a monk, and here I am after that.
Such a wonderful journey. Monk, I just wanted to ask you about Buddha teaching and what is considered as a root cause for human suffering.
Yeah, so that the suffering arises uh, due to the attachment. So it's like attachment to our expectations. So when we say suffering, we need to understand that suffering is not just a pain in what we talk in Buddhism. It has a huge it has a like a depth in that word. When we say, it's like not only the pain but also pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral. All three feelings are categorized in suffering due to one reason, which is the impermanence. So every conditioned thing are subject to change, no matter whether we like or dislike. So this world is the event conditions change, the results are like the effect also change. So because of that, when if we have attached to something, then it creates suffering. So no one won't come and say us that pain is a suffering. We all know. Even happiness also turn into suffering. The reason is think that when a baby born to this world, no one say it is suffering, so we all admire and appreciate, and we all happy about that. But think that after 16 years or 20 years, if that the baby died for because of a tragic accident, so at that time we feel some like huge pain because it's not what we expect. But if someone has more wisdom, if someone asks when was the first day that suffering started, the day that suffering started was the day we get to know that we are having a baby, or that the first day we have attached. But it took almost 20 years to show it's a suffering. In Buddhism, suffering means that anything, if we have attached, and when we have attached, when things not going the way we want, then it creates suffering.
Attachment is the reason for the core reason for the suffering. So, like, what Buddhist teachings can help people move through this suffering in everyday life?
Right. So the first thing what Buddha says is that Buddha says a nice quote which says that Satchang have sadhutarang rasana. Satchang means the truth. Buddha is saying that the most delicious thing in this world, or the most tastiest thing in this world, is the truth. It's the meaning is that truth is the most comfortable, and I mean can't say the comfortable, but the most delicious thing, like if it is a food. So reason is when we understand and accept the reality as it is, then nothing to hide. It's all about training ourselves to face to that. So Buddhism teaches us to navigate through emotions rather than stuck in one emotion and feeling and expecting this world to happen like something to happen in our own way. We always try to match our expectation with what's going on in the world. So that Buddhism teach to understand suffering and cause for the suffering, which means attachment. The third the third thing is to cessation of suffering. That means that by practicing letting go the attachment. So the for that Buddha teach a path, the what we call noble eightfold path, or the Arya Attangika Magga, which is the path we need to practice. So we can't separate Buddhism and mindfulness. So that the mindfulness is the seventh factor or the fold that noble eightfold path. So what Buddha teaches the first noble truth is a suffering. Second noble truth is the cause for the suffering. Third noble truth is cessation of suffering. Fourth noble truth is path to cessation of suffering.
Thank you so much for sharing all these details. I think you. I just wanted to get little bit deep in mindfulness. How does meditation help cultivate mindfulness and inner awareness?
Right. So when we say the meditation, so it's like nowadays the meditation is like a huge umbrella which covers so many different ideas. Nowadays, recently I got to know that it says the fishing also turn it like a fish taking a fishing rod and going to fishing also they take consider it as a meditation. So but in Buddhism meditation has, like when we say Buddhist meditation, it has two different meditation. One is samatha meditation, one is vipassana meditation. Samatha means focused attention. You are focusing to one thing, a wholesome thing, not like fishing, because Buddhism never accept killing living beings. So focused attention meditation. And then vipassana means that the seen through or insight meditation, understanding things as it is. So we improve our focus towards something, and then we see the reality in it using vipassana meditation. So the mindfulness means that what we cultivate in ourselves to create a pause. The pause allow us to react rather than just reacting, to respond wisely. So then it's like thing that if we have not trained ourselves to respond wisely, which means that create a pause, what usually happens, we do what we used to do. Think that if you are afraid of seeing snake, forget about snakes, it's somewhat dangerous. If you're afraid of seeing a cockroach, if a cockroach comes to your room, what you do is you may scream, but it does not help. You may like panic, it does not help. And so the pause allow you to see different options which arise in your head and go find the best thing to do rather than just doing what you used to do. So that's why we need pause, and that's why that pause is what we say, in other words, mindfulness. So that meditation allows you to, in two ways, like samatha means focus attention, allows you to create that pause. Vipassana, clearly seeing things how it happens rather than framing in some way or another. When we see because of this reason this happening, cause and effect. So these both technique practices allow you to improve mindfulness. So when you have mindfulness, you have inner peace, and we can separate it.
I heard this monk. whatever you are doing, if you just concentrate on that particular thing without any deviation, that is mindfulness. Whether you are fishing, I heard the thing that you mentioned.
Yes. Since we started this discussion, we can say that why it's not the right way. We can categorize it in the right mindfulness, because mindfulness allow you to, instead of justifying that what I'm doing is right, it allows you to live a regret free, no regret life. Like you feel wholesome feeling in you, and you feel calmness, and you are practicing a way to be happy for no reason. So for that we need somewhat good ethical conduct which never create any regrets in you. So if you are a person, if you try to be happy by killing a living being, then what happened? So then you need to justify that in your own way, because everyone like to live, and when you put others shoes and see the world, we may have different stories, but we share same sort of feelings. So because of that, we need a kind of a like a good ethical conduct. So that's why uh, that some things, even though it has a focused attention, we are not categorizing it as a right mindfulness. Whether it has a mindfulness or focus, yes, of course. But can we categorize it right mindfulness in what Buddha shows you? Because Buddha shows a way to be happy for no reason. Oh, sorry, we can categorize in that. But yes, of course, you can relieve stress, because if you choose to think so many things, and in your daily work, you can take the fishing rod and go fishing, and it creates kind of a calmness. But it's not it does not have that the depth what we talk in here.
Definitely, definitely, Monk. Thank you so much for sharing that information. I just wanted to ask what kind of changes happen in the mind and the body through regular meditation practice?
Yes, the when it come to mind, the best thing is you will receive a pause before you act. So which means that's the most important thing. It allows you to, because some thoughts are controlling you, and sometimes you control your thoughts. When you get angry, anger controls you. You know that you shouldn't do this, but sometimes you scream towards your mom, scream towards your dad, and sometimes you smash your door, and sometimes you skip your meals. So you get so much of energy to do so, and even though you know that this will be I'm in trouble, but you can stop it. Why? Those thoughts controlling you, even not but you are not controlling. You don't have ability, you don't have efficiency, or you don't have capability to control your thoughts. So when you practice mindfulness and meditation, you get chance to control your thoughts. So that's a one main benefit. So it create a pause, and it allows you to control your thoughts. And plus it boosts your creativity. How it boosts your creativity? When you have a pause, rather than just doing what your mind say, you can consider different options and go to the best option. So think that uh, you want to make a decision, and you're like your mind say, hey, do this, but then without considering anything, because your ego push you to do so, then it can create a problem. So but when you have a pause, so then it allows you to go through different options, so it improves your creativity. And when you're being mindful, and when you have when we practice meditation, because of that, you you reduce your thought amount of thoughts going on in your head. So in Buddhist practice, we said like for a second, because there are like millions of thoughts, but uh, in science we say like 80,000 to 60,000 thoughts going in one's head a day. But when someone meditate, it reduced to 20,000. But still it your efficiency boost. So that means that all those 40,000 thoughts are the thoughts which you don't need. So when you have less thoughts, you have less struggle in your head. When you have less struggle, you can have peaceful sleep. So it's another benefit, and that means you can have calmness and peacefulness. and your body also feel the peacefulness and calmness because of that, and you will be healthy. And because of there are so many studies have done, over 18,000, about mindfulness. Those shows that so many positive benefits like boosting your immune system, and so it allows you to, that your social skills develop, because it reduce your nervousness, and it stage fear, and those so many different things. So it's like overall, like not only mind, not only body. It's like, when you practice mindfulness, overall improvement happens within yourself.
I think when our audience hear this, at least having a thought to practice meditation on a daily basis, I hope so. I just wanted to ask, like some people report experiences saying like I'm seeing some colors, there are some sensations, some are vivid imagery during meditation. Is there any spiritual or psychological significance to these experiences?
Yes, so when we practice meditation, those are pretty normal, but my advice is don't focus to that. Then you are diverting your attention, what you need to do. Then, because this mind, we say the vijnana, the consciousness, the Buddha's example for that is our consciousness is like a magician. If you start to believe magician, then you will see so many different magics, and you will end up with having so many hallucinations and fake enlightenments with having so much of anger and all the defilements in you. So just acknowledge and feel seeing that it's pretty normal, and go practice your meditation. If you need guidance, reach to a monk or someone who knows about meditation.
Yes, definitely, definitely, Monk. Because when I started practicing meditation, initially when I used to see colors, I used to be like, whenever I sit next time, will I be able to see the colors? That's what I used to think. Now luckily, I'm not at that stage. At least I think I'm not at that stage. But whatever you mentioned, attachment to those experiences is not necessary. According to Buddhism, what is the ultimate purpose or goal of meditation?
So we call the Nibbana, or you may have heard this Nirvana. So that the Nibbana means the enlightenment, which means that that end of all the sufferings, or in other words, end of all the attachments. So that's the goal in Buddhism. It's like freedom.
Why do ancient spiritual teachings continue to resonate strongly in this modern society?
Even though there are like 4,000 religions in this world, like religions and faiths, uh, but there's a kind of a fascinating thing in Buddhism. There are like six special qualities in Buddhist teachings, and sometimes when we think of that, it's hard to put in the basket of religion even. So it says Swakato Bhagavato Dhammo. Bhagavato means Buddha. Dhammo means his teaching. Swakato means well discoursed. So which means that for the purpose of the enlightenment, it's well discoursed. It says Adi Kalyana, Madhya Kalyana, Pariyosana Kalyana. That beginning also very clear how to practice, middle also very clear, and how to end. It's everything is well discoursed. The second quality is sanditiko. You can understand this here and now. So you don't want to wait to another next life or so. Uh, so this is a well discourse for that purpose, and you can understand it here and now. The third thing is akaliko. This is a timeless teaching. So timeless teaching means that uh, yes, Buddha lived like 2,600 years ago, but that doesn't mean that it's like old teaching, because Buddha never invented anything. He said what's going on in the world. So it's a timeless teaching in here. Now also we see the same thing. And the next thing is ehi passiko. Ehi means come, passiko means seek. This is an inviting teaching, asking come and see, not for a particular group of people, not for the Buddhist. This is for everyone. So Buddha saying, because there were no Buddhists when Buddha started to teach. So Buddha saying that sun and moon will shine when clouds are not covering its view. So likewise, these teachings are shining when you uncover. So Buddha allow us to ask questions, discuss. So Buddha saying that there are things, those are shining when we hide it. Think that we take something invaluable thing that we are taking our trash bin and hide it in under a table and covering with golden clothes and like turning it to like a beautiful cascade or something. So that the all the value in it is there until we keep it covered. If someone open it, that value will there won't be any value. So like, but when it comes to Buddhism, Buddha saying these teachings are shining when you uncover. So that's the that quality, that ehipassiko quality. Fourth, fifth one is open aiko. This teaching is inverse teaching. You have to see it within yourself. No matter how many scientists praise, you have to see this within yourself. The last quality is Pachattam Veditabbo Vinyohi. When you see it within yourself, individually, up to your level, you will understand what Buddha said. So this is a teaching in our words. You can get the graduation up to our level when you practice it by our own. For that, this is a well discussed teaching, and this is not a old teaching. It's a timeless teaching, and we can understand it here and now. So for those for that, it's a well discussed. So if there's something like that, so then modern society is always asking question, like to be open, and no one can hide things. So that's the best platform for these ancient teachings like Buddhism to shine. So I think that's the one reason.
So, how does a monk life look like from start of the day to end of the day?
Before, if someone go to be a monk, still that person has to come to a monastery and stay with monks. So so then they need to be a novice monk, and then after that they can highly ordain, and then they can practice under teacher, and if they want, they can have their free life, or if they would like, they can be in the monastery. So monks timetable usually change from Buddhist school to school, and but there are like common things. So when it comes to the monks, so I'm following the Theravada tradition. Theravada tradition is the most ancient living tradition at the moment. So this tradition, so usually early morning, and there's a morning chanting. Sometimes it's 5, sometimes 5:30. In some monasteries, 6 o'clock, and then 6:30 to 7, maybe 6:30, in between 8, before 8 definitely there's a morning alms. That means that breakfast, devotees and supporters bringing alms and offer monks. So if not, if there's a village, or so now in America, of course, we don't do that, but in countries like Sri Lanka, Thailand, Burma, they take their arms ball and go arms round, which means that if they without asking anyone, just staying in front of the village house, and then if anyone feel to offer something, they offer that. So then when they feel enough, they bring everything and put to a one big basket in the monastery, and then taking the best food and offering to Buddha, and the rest of the things, the monks who are coming, they receive and they have their breakfast. And some monks are going to farms round, and some monks are staying in the monastery and sweeping and doing the morning chores. So if devotees bring alms, so we receive it and we share merits and we teach the teachings, and then they clean and go, and monks have their own free time, maybe morning meditation also. And then 11 to 12, there's another lunch we receive, someone bringing. And afternoon, monks usually don't eat, because there's a precept for monks to don't eat afternoon until next day morning, unless a tea or coffee or fruit juice or something. And then there's a chanting. Most of the monasteries has a chanting, and then evening meditation, free meditation, and then we gather around 7 o'clock for the chanting. and then at 9 o'clock there's a chanting and group like group meeting, whatever, if there's anything to discuss. And that's the regular main structure, and there may be slight differentiation in different Buddhist schools and monasteries based on the practical issues.
We have the Buddha Meditation Center in Washington, D.C., right? If somebody wants to sign up, what is the process, Monk?
Yeah, so that our what we say is stay where you want to stay. That's the thing. So because our monastery, like to be honest, like when it comes to the meditators, 90% of the meditators are coming from different background. They are not Buddhist. So because they are like there are less Buddhist in nearby our area, but everyone would like to come and meditate. So we have different meditation programs. We have Saturday 8 to 9 we have a stress-free meditation. It's an online Zoom call, and there are like 30, 50, sometimes 60 meditators. They are coming together and meditate with the monk, and they can ask questions. It's like a kind of a, even though it's Zoom, it's like a in-person feeling in there, because most of the meditators open their cameras and join. And then we have Sunday in-person meditation 5 to 7. So 5 to 5:45 one meditation, and a small tea break, and then 6 to 7 another meditation. And we have a day-long retreat every first Saturday and third Saturday, 9 to 4 p.m. And so then we have like a script translation. There are like 18,000 Buddha scripts in Buddha's language. We translate the scripts, and like the teaching, which has a huge depth, and slowly we discuss about one by one. And it's like the participants ask questions and they learn. It's like a learning class. So it has every Wednesday 8 to 9. It's a Zoom call again. And apart from that, there are like children's mindfulness meditation programs Sunday 9 to 11. And so we have a meditate with the monk program. Anyone would like to join, they can join. And there may be some, because there are 7 monasteries in our tradition in United States. And so if you Google meditate with the monk, there may be some meditation programs near you also. And those are the main things. And if someone's like in George Washington University, we do meditate with the monk program in the university also.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much for sharing all these details, because like it will be definitely helpful because of the online sessions especially. They
Yeah.
don't have to come to Washington DC and they can practice. I
Uh,
just wanted to ask one last question. You mentioned about children meditation, right? So whoever kids are coming to the meditation in that particular program, typically what age?
6 to 15.
Oh, 6 years old. I have two daughters, 6 and 8. Thank you so much for sharing all these valuable insights. I will be sure to include all the relevant details about Monk Amitha Khema and the Meditation Center in Washington, D.C. in the description. I hope this episode brings you one step closer to harmony and happiness. Signing off, Geeta. Namaskaram.